What is interesting is that administrations are well down to about 6% of the total number of liquidations, but also down in total. They have picked up a bit after COVID, but the first year of COVID they were quite high and then went down, and they're picking back up again. But you can see from the trend line that they're certainly well down from where they used to be. And again, 20 years ago they would have been much higher. It's disappointing in the sense that administrations are seen really as a positive step forward, that the administrators or the insolvency advisors and the directors will see a potential future for this business. So the fact that they're in decline is not really very encouraging. Likewise with CVAs, these are company voluntary arrangements, really go down to next to nothing, down to about 1%, from about 6% of total, so about 4% of total liquidations. They've gone down in volume. The success rate of CVAs has not been very good. Probably 10 years ago or less, 5 years ago, it was about 73% who failed. The number that are failing now, I'm told, and this is anecdotal, is just over 50%, which would suggest that with the lower volume, it means that people are being more selective and probably not going for a CVA option unless they're really, really confident that it will be successful. It is a shame, in my view, because CVAs could work. The problem is they're not planned properly, they're not managed properly, and they're usually underfinanced, and nothing changes in the business, despite some of the debt being taken away. And the supervision, to me, is not as adequate as it should be, and probably needs the intervention of a qualified operational turnaround practitioner rather than, say, an accountant. Then going on to compulsory liquidations, again, it's interesting here that they plummeted during the COVID pandemic. Picked up a wee bit, but they're well down from where they were in 2012. So these figures are really surprising, I guess, although we didn't know where they were going 2 years ago, of course. So they're picking up again, compulsory liquidations. And in terms of creditors' voluntary liquidations, this is where companies have decided to that there's no future for the business, either because their advisors have said so or the directors feel they can no longer cope. They've gone up. So what's interesting, if you compare these figures to the previous ones, forced liquidations, which might be probably the result of a winding up petition in the UK, have gone down. At the behest of voluntary liquidations by the directors, who really said this is the end of the line, we're giving up, we don't see a future, there's not much chance of recovery, and so we will close the business down. So that again is quite interesting. Finally, just an add-on, I've seen a report from Begbie's Traynor. Begbie's Traynor is an insolvency firm, probably the largest independent insolvency firm in the UK, I believe. They have a system called Red Flag Alert, and they've published figures recently which says that something like 600,000 businesses in the UK are now in significant financial distress. This will be measured by the number of CCJs, wind-up petitions, etc. And there's their own classification, but 600,000 is higher than it's been for a long, long time. And this is verified by the fact that the number of CCJs, county court judgments, is nearly 24,000 in the last quarter of 2022, which is 50% higher than it was in the previous year, and 77% higher than it was for 2019 and previously, pre-COVID. So that's my review of the figures. If you want any more information, don't hesitate to ask. If you find your company is suffering from some financial distress, please give me a call. There are things that we can do. You don't have to go through a liquidation necessarily. You don't have to go through an insolvency process necessarily. It is worth looking at the various options. So please do not hesitate to give me a call. In the meantime, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you again, I'm sure. Bye.